Thanks for staying with us. We have a visionary entrepreneur on a mission to revolutionize, skincare in Nigeria. And before we come to her, we are going to wrap up on the last topic we're talking about, Erisco. So I wanted to ask, now this matter is becoming scary for me. I feel like people are not allowed to share their views. And there are people who must talk. It's part of what they do, to look at situations, look at products, and talk about it, right? Are we going to stifle those people? That's on one hand. Secondly, how best can we do reviews? We need to start educating ourselves so that we don't go out there and get into trouble like this, at least till Nigeria gets to a point where people are allowed to speak freely and then no repercussions at the end of the day. But right now, we are seeing that there are powers that be, that you cannot just touch their things anyhow without facing it. Now, how do we constructively do a review if we have to review products?
Okay, so I'm happy that Nima gave us a bit of legal perspective because if you don't, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. But I think that even with what we've done on the show over the past 10 years that we've been on the show, we know that whenever we're discussing topic, we have to take both sides of the story.
Balance it out.
That's the ethical thing. That if you're going to compare me, who are you comparing me with? And on what basis are you running the comparison? You have to prove that you are competent enough to run that comparison. Is it your taste, your tongue that wants to know whether sugar is more here or sugar is not enough here? Or are you a scientist that you could do some checks and you were able to find out the quantity of sugar properly?
Yeah.
There is a particular Milo advert that Aproko Doctor did on social media, and a child nutritionist came up with her own review of that same advert and said, what this guy said is not wrong, but here are the things this guy did not say.
Highlights, yeah.
And then she went into the product itself and the things they wrote at the back of the product, that this is the number of grams of sugar, this is the number of this, went to the company's website and brought out what they wrote on the website. So that's a review that was constructive-based. So if you want to do review, do your research.
Okay.
Ensure that you put the details there. If you are running comparison, have both products and be able to defend what you are running. And most finally, put a disclaimer. This is not a malicious product. I'm not doing a malicious video. I am just giving you my opinion. If you see online, everybody will say, I don't support violence. I'm just putting this video there.
Yeah.
I am not abusing this music. I'm just using it.
Disclaimer.
You have to be able to put it out there because what you think is, I don't know what you are thinking. I'm not a mind reader. I am seeing what you have done, and I'm seeing the fact that what you have just done is going to scatter my company that I've worked so hard for. So I'm going to deal with you based on what you have done, except you tell me this is my intention. Then I will now take that up. I cannot know your mind. So I think it's important that we take that lesson seriously.
We have to take the lessons. So take some messages.
Bosse Olale says, Erisco has been on your view, but Erisco has been on your view to explain these products properly. He says some of these products have high concentration of sugar for a purpose, and they actually have other pureed tomatoes. I even remember they spoke about ketchup. Let's read the labels carefully before we purchase. I'm sure I wasn't on that show.
Yeah.
I can't remember it. Bola Ola Obadi Meji says, I think the lady should have used the customer care contact on the pack of the tomato paste for her complaint. That is why every product have it. Probably the lady thought Erisco would call her, negotiate with her, but she has wrong. Do you know that NAFDAC conducted a test on the product and found it good for consumption?
Oh, wow.
Let us all condemn the lady and her lawyer should stop grandstanding, initiate an out-of-court settlement. Pregnancy is not a license to be pitied in court. Yeah. Very sad. But Ogumola says, Nima, you're right. You can recall a product from the market after detection of defects. Recently, I got a mail from Chevrolet to take my car for a free part replacement after they discovered the defect. I drive a 2011 car. 13 years after, Erisco suit is just a show of power.
Yeah.
A business that cannot accept reviews in good faith shouldn't be in business. This just further tells me how much he runs his business and the way he addresses his employees. I don't know how they are. I just wonder those employees cannot do anything wrong in that business.
You know that sometimes to protect your business, you would have to speak up. I'm of the opinion that there's some mistakes. They could have tempered justice with mercy. But I feel like if somebody goes online now and says that the company that I am diligently building, and somebody goes online and says, this is what TMO did, this company is not doing ABCD, and goes out falsely bringing that up, I'm not going
If
to
they lie on you,
If
that's
they lie,
different.
But Tokwe, you know
But
how
if
to
they
do
say
this
there's
thing.
sugar content in something that there's actually sugar content, is that a
Is
lie?
that a lie? It's not a lie.
It's not a lie.
And the way
However,
the way he
she
handled-
goofed
not
in
like
the
this.
way that she said it and the comparisons that she made. That could also have been handled.
Everybody have blame, even the judge in question.
Yeah,
How do you
everybody.
demand
All
a
of them have
pregnant
blame.
woman
Pregnant woman.
in a matter that she's
Pregnant.
on trial?
the matter is
You
saying
only convict and sentence a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
But on trial, there's an exception, and it's not even a murder.
That's all we can take on this. Let's move on. But I'll be asking our guest a question. So, her introduction again, she is a visionary entrepreneur on a mission to revolutionize the global skincare industry while honoring Africa's rich heritage. With a fiery passion for her continent, fueled by her unwavering passion for Africa's untapped potential. Welcome with us, Ifekoya Oluwafunmilayo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
How
for
you
the
doing
amazing
today?
welcome. Thank you, I'm fine.
Yeah, so before I come to you and what you do, what do you think about this Erisco business?
I think that it could have been better managed. That's why companies have PR teams. Public relations is such a huge part of how a company communicates with the public. What companies normally do, because I know even Gino had a similar situation, I think some months back, is the first thing you do in a PR crisis is, one, you respond. And the first thing you should do in your response is to apologize, whether you are even investigated or not. I'm very sorry for this inconvenience. However, give us some time to investigate the issue and we'll come back to you with a reply. And the amazing thing about this is that you can actually spin this whole issue into something that is a much more positive PR. Imagine if Erisco Foods released our response, actually went back to investigate the batch, the dates that the product was produced, if there was something wrong with that batch, and came back with a proper press release and said, okay, you know what, based on our investigation, we have noticed that maybe the batch
Even nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong, you
What
know.
she said is correct.
Yeah, basically. And then even say, you know what, we're going to be giving you possibly 5 free cartons of Erisco tomatoes or something nice. Or possibly even bring you to a facility and show you how we produce our products, our quality assurance process. All of that could have even spinned off into positive PR that could have earned the brand millions of naira. It could have been turned into a PR opportunity. But then again, that's why I said, that's why there are PR teams in companies. That's what they
are saying maybe these people did not have a proper PR team. They have a basketball team.
I didn't say that, but I'm just saying that that's why you have PR people, PR agencies that make tons of millions. Big brands, MTN, all the brands, even the big FMCG brands, they have huge PR teams that handle
some
like
of
this.
these things, yes.
Yeah, you don't just reply. No. You.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Pretty much covered it. Thank you so much. So let's talk about you and your skincare. And I'm not global skincare. You're into
Thank
global
you so much.
skincare.
Yes.
So why did you decide to get into skincare? What sort of skincare? What problems are you solving with your products?
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for that question. The brand is hinged on, first of all, I did not plan to start a skincare brand. It was never a dream. But I'll talk about how I stumbled upon the brand. Africa is more than coconut oil, shea butter, and aloe vera. People need to understand that. For, I think, up until 2018, I struggled with a dermatological issue that I was seeing a dermatologist here in Lagos, for a very great dermatologist, by the way, for a couple of years. And every time I had my periods, I went through extreme stress, I would have like a recurring bout. And I remember then that a colleague mentioned that why not try, alternative like, medicine, African herbs. I was very hesitant, very, very, because there's a lot of negative PR around, our local herbs. So eventually I did. And I remember walking into the herbal market for the very first time, meeting this amazing herbal practitioner, and I show her my back, and she says, you know how these people are. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. This has been an issue for me for so many years. It's recurring. Every time I go into my dermatologist, I get these drugs and creams, but it comes back every time I go through stress. And then she cuts this herb into 2, puts the exudate on my back, and then I go home, and the next morning, it's completely cleared. Wow. And then the thing for me was if something like this exists, why is it not an ointment or a cream? Or why is it not a properly produced product that's gone through licensing, research, certification by NAFDAC, of course? And that was the beginning of the brand for me, because then I researched, are there any brands that are actually not just researching the herbs, but looking for ways to harness these herbs and turn them into finished beauty products. And then I really couldn't find, because most of the brands I could see, amazing brands by the way, of course, they're majorly just focusing on the popular ones, aloe vera, shea butter, black soap, coconut oil. But there's so much more. It's incredible. Africa has over 50,000 researched herbs. Imagine the herbs that have not been researched. And then there are herbs that treat skin disorders as worse as tinea infections, yaws, psoriasis. It's crazy what we have that nobody is harnessing. So the journey started with asking a question, why? Okay, why? If nobody is doing it, why are we not doing it? And how can I start to, create something out of this? So that's actually, I did not plan out. Yes, I never planned out.
Getting from our trouble.
When I saw you first, I'm an advocate for Luca, but when I saw you first and I read your resume that you skincare person, I thought, mulatto.
Absolutely
not mulatto. No, last time I'm disappointed you are not more, because people just want to bleed.
What do you mean? Am I fair?
But are you not trying to get into the market? Because I can mention a brand of movie producers who are in the business of mixing it. We are not mixing.
No, absolutely not. Because for us, the integral part is we want to really promote Africa beyond just selling our products. We want Africa to have a voice at the center stage in the global beauty market. The only way we can compete with the big beauty brands is to innovate. And they do it better. You can't compete with them.
Yeah.
And so the only
They bleach it better.
They bleach it better. I'm telling you. So the only way, and then people are even beginning to look for more cruelty-free formulations, more natural, skincare products. The only way Africa can really compete in the global beauty market is to create something different. And we have it. It's just that we're not really industrializing that sector. We are so focused on the popular,
we want fast money. See, don't blame us.
No, I don't blame us.
We want fast money.
No, but I think
so it's been a very hard journey for me. It's been a very difficult journey. The research,
But I am surprised that we have that much research. It is easy for Nigerians and people to assume that a lot of our local options, whether for health or even for beauty, is not researched. So that's what I've heard it, I've said it, but now you're telling me there are several research that has been conducted on these things. And like Mrs. said, we should not blame people. That is what is available. Coconut oil is everywhere. She's into granite oil.
Want fast money.
Yeah, what is available? So, but can you explain the process of sourcing these materials
raw materials
and the solution you've been able to provide? I use K-Beauty now, and I'm a huge fan. And I realized that how did Korea Beauty stand out was by using products that were not in the regular Western world
You cannot say you use K-Beauty when Body by BC is here. You cannot try it. Please, stop it.
Stop it.
Answer the question, man.
Body by Beauty, sorry.
Leave me, Joe.
But BC,
Answer the question.
Thank you very much. Okay, so let me first of all talk about my research. So my research was in about 3 dimensions. The first part of my research was I worked with herbal practitioners for about 3 years. I traveled to Ghana, to even Cote d'Ivoire, to actually start a research, interviewing and speaking to herbal practitioners. Then the next stage of my research was, finding the English and botanical names for those herbs. And that was the most difficult part of the research. And that involved, a lot of research journals. Actually, we have some universities already doing this research. Like, a lot of the journals I read were done by this Professor Famuyiwa in OAU. I'm shout out to Hive Chef who sees this interview. She really helps me a lot. Then my sister was also a botanist as well. Then also as well, I also had to work with other botanists and also a cosmetic scientist to see how to make these herbs, into products that are fit for market. In terms of sourcing ingredients, I majorly source a lot of the herbs from the herbal practitioners themselves, and it also empowers them economically because the more demand for the herbs, the more that they can also, make more
on the business.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, your skincare products, is it targeted at women, children, or?
So we have a line that's targeted at, women, men, and children. Usually, kids are, easily develop tinea infections, atopic dermatitis, like, the common, eczema. So we have products that heal that. Because if you look at way back before, media proliferation and globalization, we already used these herbs to heal a lot of these things, and they were working perfectly.
You have one for these, when children, these nappy rashes.
Yes, absolutely. Of course we do. And I remember that even when I was working with the herbal practitioners, they taught me lots of herbs to use for children. And the good thing about these herbs is that they have less side effects than even the usual corticosteroids and, what, a lot of mothers and children use. Because for even most corticosteroids, you can't use them for more than 2 weeks to a month because they can have adverse effects on the skin and even it can enter into the blood. So Africa has everything. We have everything.
So let me come a bit personal. So I remember a few years back when I got an idea to have my skincare line, right? And I bounced the idea off a few people. And the thing I heard is, are you ready to bleach? You are not fair now. They will not buy. You are not fair. They will not buy. Except you are supposed to show them, yes, you're supposed to show from dark to the glow up. That's when you have customers. So that discouraged me for quite a number of years till I now shrugged off my shoulder and said, this is where I'm getting to. This is the aspect I am going to be dealing with, which I now focus on getting fruits that will help us with anti-aging. That's my own forte now. So people like me that want to look 16 forever, that's the product. But did you get, negative discouragements from people because you are maintaining your melanin and then you are doing skincare, right?
I still have people who dare me to ask for whitening products. And for me, it also means that there's a market I cannot cater to. Yeah. And I've completely accepted that. But also, there also is a growing consciousness. People really realizing that you can have beautiful skin without bleaching.
Yeah.
But I also think that education needs to happen more. There needs to be a lot more, consciousness around the fact that melanin is actually very beautiful, and you can be beautiful in any shade of melanin. It just needs to be, clear, glowing, beautiful, and all that. But regardless, there would always be people who are stuck on whitening and bleaching, and I can't cater for that market, and it's fine. I've accepted that.
It's not your market.
It's not my market.
Let us move.
I wanted to ask you about the thing is, sadly, a lot of Nigerians don't even go through. We don't read
ingredients. Oh my God!
Of all the steroids and things that we use, and many local people, once you have rash, they'll be like, go and buy that. Like it's go to the chemist.
They have names that they mention.
Yes, go to the chemist and go and buy that, and they just use and use and use, and most of those products are not meant to be used or reused over a long period of time.
Absolutely.
And this is me doing public announcements for all those that have skincare issues, that when you are reusing those products, you're damaging long-term into your body, because those products they are very harsh and they're meant to be alive for 3 days. If you read what they wrote on the body, even if you read the proper full paper, they'll fold it small.
Very tiny.
When you read it, you realize that you tell yourself, let me carry this my rash and be going, rather than using this product. How do you get the extraction process though? Because I'm always worried about most of what we use locally are herbs, bark of trees, leaves, away at Egbo,
Exactly.
How do you now extract it?
Bucket to mix.
No, definitely not.
How do you do the extraction process? Are you scientific, or you still try to keep to the old herbal ways with which we grew up?
So for me, it's a fusion of both worlds, the fusion of the African beauty research and cosmetic science. So as I mentioned, I work with a cosmetic scientist for also a long period of time to find how to make these products more fit for markets. Okay. The way that I'm seeing the brand, I want to build a global African brand. And we can't do things the old ways. I mean, we're inspired by the old ways, but we need to modernize the old ways.
Yep.
So definitely not. It goes through a process of, sterilization, because the herbs needs to be sterilized, it needs to be cleaned. And it also goes through a process of measuring, because people don't understand that you can't just wake up and start pouring things together. No, it doesn't work that way. Even with the herbs, there needs to be a certain percentage. You have to measure.
You have to weigh.
And you have to, exactly, you have to weigh. And then you even need to consider different skin types. Okay, what percentage of this particular herb can, serve for the 5 different skin types: combination skin, sensitive skin, dry skin, oily skin. So it's a lot of research that goes into that. So for me, I have taken that painstaking research to do all of that work, because the plan is to build a global beauty brand, an African-inspired beauty brand.
Let's talk about your blood and sweat inside this business, right? Because I understand that the skincare business is not a funny one.
Yes.
You have regulation to deal with on one hand. That one costs a lot. You have the raw material sourcing, that one costs a lot. Sometimes you do a batch and it comes back not the way you have seen it. You have to. I recently had that experience when I was launching my own product, and the batch was not what I expected. So we had to discard it. It was millions gone. I
Yes.
didn't just want to cry publicly.
Yes.
I cried somewhere. But how do you deal with now getting it out into, after all of those stress, getting it out into the market, talking to people to understand that this is better compared to what they are used to that will likely be cheaper for them to get?
Very good question. I've honestly had a lot of challenges in that regard. And as I said, there's a lot of education that needs to be done regarding what we have on our herbs. And one of the things I had to do was map my route to market. And for me, I realized that one of the ways that I wanted to be able to enter the markets efficiently was to also partner with modern trade outlets. So, for instance, a couple of weeks back, I met the founder of Ebano, and I pitched my business, and I told him, he was actually very, very impressed. And then, so very soon, we're going to have our products in, a couple of Ebano stores.
All right.
And also, I started working on documentaries. I have a documentary called Africa is More Than Shea Butter. It's part of, the ways that where I'm looking to educate people and say that there's so much we have here. You people, open your eyes. Yeah,
We have gold
we
here.
have gold here. Why are we running to Sokoto when it's not Sokoto?
Running to Korea.
I'm telling you, this is... And then it's the fact that also, there's also the place for fusion. We can start to also infuse, for me, like I have a couple of products where it's a fusion of both herbs and also, some skincare actives. And it even makes those skincare actives better work better. So there's always a place for fusion, and that's how innovation actually comes in as well.
Yeah. Are you married?
No, I'm not married.
Yeah,
What is
dating.
asking?
Are you dating? I like her already. I have some people that are looking for wives.
So I do like the idea of the, and I need to congratulate you on the documentary. I saw it on your Instagram.
Thank you so much.
Because I think one of the reasons, because BC has called me out several times.
called
And I use her soap. It's her soap. I use BC's papaya soap. But I watched the a documentary on K-Beauty and how they came up with trying to, they got the support of their government. It was it was a total plan that we have our local. We use snail, kinekon.
Yeah.
And this is something that our people have used since forever. And the world does not use it. The Western world don't know that you can
Let's
use
monetize this.
So they came up with it.
Even
and
China.
put it in
China,
all
Korea.
products. And it took over everywhere. And they told their story.
Their snail, their mushroom, a lot of things.
So I think that it's important that you explain the documentary of telling the story of why am I doing this? What are the things I'm putting into my product that is different from what you're getting from other international brands? We're not calling names anymore now.
Yeah,
because we
don't
know what
call
the
him.
episode
Don't
was.
try it. Don't call him.
So, and it's important. So I'm excited about this journey, and I don't know how you're paying it forward. What do you see in the future? What's the next 5 years? What's the next 10 years going to be like?
I'm looking to, let me just say this, I'm looking to send a proposal to a couple of state governments that a partnership, because there are a lot of kids in less privileged areas that have a lot of skin disorders and they cannot afford dermatologists. So one of the next projects on my table is to start pitching to them. So, okay, how can we come in and create products, 2,000 products for 2,000 kids in these communities at a subsidized rate? And, how can we start to heal their skin with these products? It's more natural, it's less expensive. They can afford dermatologists, so you're also doing them a favor as well. So, yeah, those are one of the things that we're looking to do. Regarding funding, it's been the research, the project, the brand has been completely self-funded. And I also think that there's not a lot of support from the government in terms of funding research and development in Nigeria. I mean, of course, this can be improved on. So, but imagine, because if I wasn't passionate about this, I think I would have given up.
You would have given up, trust me.
Yes, because, if it wasn't a passion, if it was just a money-making venture, a quick one,
you would have packed up.
I would have packed up. But imagine if it would have, because research has to be ongoing. I want to research more herbs. I want to partner with more research centers. I want to work with Professor Famuyiwa and OU University. All of that requires a lot of capital. I want to do a lot more things. I think that this is something that can become very big. But then again, yes.
I love that. And we can work together, especially with that documentary.
Yes, absolutely. I'll be looking forward to that.
Together. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you,
so
amazing
much.
ladies. That's all we can take on the show today. We'll see you again tomorrow. Do have a lovely rest of the day. Bye-bye now.